Economic Development Corporation's annual business event. This year's theme is the roller coaster ride of owning your own business. So we thank all of you for joining us today. Just to let you know, this presentation is being recorded and we will be putting it on our website as well as social media for those who want to view it later. I'm going to start our presentation component. So one moment here, let me do some screen sharing. All right. Again, there is a chat box available. If you have any questions that you would like to ask of our keynote speaker, we will have a Q&A portion at the end of this presentation. First and foremost, we're going to go through today is some information and updates on the growth of Converse. And then we're going to have some insight from our featured keynote speaker, Julissa, acknowledge a local veteran business. And of course, the exciting part is we'll be giving away a pair of brand new Converse tennis shoes. The City of Converse, like many communities across the world, are facing unprecedented times, and we're doing so with courage. Today, we look inwards as we are spending more time in our homes and in our neighborhoods and within our communities. We have family and friends and neighbors who are walking difficult paths today, and in Converse, the community continues to walk the talk of Converse supports Converse. The Converse EDC rallied this summer around building a new program, the COVID-19 Small Business Assistance Grant Program. We granted over $231,000 in total to 48 businesses within Converse, and that grant was primarily utilized for leases and payroll. In addition, we started a new social media campaign to assist in connecting our residents to all of our businesses, a campaign that we called Converse Supports Converse, a campaign with lots of photos that showed the faces of our businesses and business owners ready to serve our community. And it has been an extremely well-received social media campaign. Our 30,000 residents have rallied to support the 300 businesses in our community this year, along with supporting our neighbors. Donations of food and time have helped fellow citizens while buying products and services locally has kept 99% of our businesses open today. We thank every single person for your community pride. Hindsight is 2020 has a much bigger meaning this year than ever. Converse has been on a steep growth trajectory since 2017, and 2020 will not stop our progress. Last year, we had over $26 million in capital investment from new and existing businesses, with Idea School being the largest project for 2019, a brand new Idea School on FM 1516. 2020 will prove to be another year of great growth, and it may not be at the same scale as last year, but it will still be a year of growth. We have seen a couple dozen new businesses come into Converse, from retail, service, light industrial, and a few new developments along FM 78 and Loop 1604. We are confident that our businesses would invite others to consider looking at being a part of this community. We have ample land and space available, of course. In addition to new businesses investing in new facilities like the new Idea School, we work to help our businesses in our community who are growing. Earlier this year, we had a third generation business who was looking for a bigger space, and they were looking all throughout Bexar County. We are thrilled to say they have chosen to stay in Converse. In fact, Northeast Air Conditioning bought the old City of Converse fire station. It was beyond a typical project and was due to a strong relationship that we had with Northeast Air. Working for a community can be extremely enlightening, and when you have those relationships, you can succeed as a team. Working with Northeast Air and seeing the old fire station have new life, that's the gooey stuff that warms my heart. I know that's cheesy, but it is. So Converse may be that small town of the past, but as of today, we are the second largest in Bexar County, and we will be the largest suburb of the greater San Antonio region at 100,000 people, representing 100,000 people by the mid-2030s. And that level of change is the result of new homes being built and our annexation agreement with the City of San Antonio. Currently, we have 3,000 single-family homes that are platted and under construction, with a similar number in our ETJ areas. Many of those being built along FM 1516 and off of Loop 1604. With this amount of growth comes a need to invest in infrastructure and amenities. The city, along with TxDOT on some of these projects, is widening and expanding roads in many areas in our city. One major goal is a more cohesive secondary thoroughfare connecting I-35 to I-10, which is in addition to the major upgrades that are being done along 1604. The city is also investing in lifestyle amenities with the opening of a second lake, a new fishing pier, a new linear walking path that connects our two large parks, as well as renovating our old city hall, because we do have a new one. They're renovating the old city hall to turn it into a senior and community center. If you are a current resident or business owner, go Team Converse. If you are not, we invite you to connect. Come see how we are growing and how many people are choosing Converse and helping write our story. This is one of our campaigns that we launched last year, our marketing campaign called Write Our Story. It is with great honor at this time that I introduce our mayor, Mayor Al Suarez. Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate your leadership. Mayor, can you unmute yourself, please?
Here we go. Thank you, Jimsi, for allowing me to participate in this wonderful virtual event. I want to thank everybody for participating. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again, and thank you, keynote speaker, Julissa, Carielo, and thanks to the Converse Economic Development Corporation, Board of Directors, and staff for putting this virtual event together, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. You know, the local businesses deserve our full support, and we're committed to working through this pandemic together. I'm going to take a few minutes and provide everyone with some updates of Converse from a business perspective. I'm going to give you a quick tour of Converse and present some of the information that new residents and businesses always want to know when I meet with them. Okay, go number 2, slide 2. Okay, tell you a little bit about Converse. We're estimated population, as Jimsi said, 30,000 plus, and that's a 65% increase from the last census. And I say plus because, as you can see in the briefing here, we're growing on a daily basis. The property tax rate, we're kind of a bragging property tax rate, 0.50, 0.2252 per 100. That's very competitive with the surrounding Metrocom cities, and it's lower than the city of San Antonio. We also share a high municipal bond rate of AA-. That's equivalent to a person having a FICO score in the 800s. So it's real good for the city of Converse. We also operate on budget reserves 4 to 5 months. What that means is that we're secure for any emergencies that come up on a daily basis or annual basis. We also, in 2015, the citizens approved a $19.9 million bond, and we were able to build a new city hall, a new central fire station, our first animal care facility. $10.6 million were invested in the neighborhood streets. $1 million were invested in the parks. Our library expansion doubled the size, which was very incredible for the kids in the vicinity. And we're also building 12 subdivisions under construction as we speak right now, and that's tremendous right there. 12 housing. What that means is that if you build, they would come, and they're coming, and we're very excited about the subdivisions. We also have a municipal boundary adjustment and annexation plan in progress, agreement with the city of San Antonio, which again, you know, the growth is going to, we're experiencing explosive growth because of all the different components we have in place, the building of subdivisions, the annexation, municipal boundary adjustment. We also have already $237.5 million in approved road projects, the highway projects, okay? And we're also proud to share that we do have via bus public transportation for the citizens of Converse, which it is the only public transportation in the Northeast Metrocom right now, with the exception of Kirby. So we're very proud that we're able to provide that service for the citizens. We also, 10 years ago, we planned for this growth, and so we projected that the increase of water would be needed, and so that we're able to have no water restrictions right now. We do have an alternative water resource that we also secure water and buy water with the water line out to Canyon Lake. So when the city of San Antonio goes into stage 1, we do follow the stages, appropriate stages, Edwards Aquifer, but we do not enforce the requirements because we have a lot of water. We just don't allow citizens to waste it. Okay, next slide, please. This is some of our bond projects. The library to the top left, it's double the size of the library. Our first animal control facility to the right, beautiful facility. Our central fire station to the lower left, which is also our second new fire station. Our city hall, our two-story city hall, which basically we're growing into with all the tremendous growth that experienced. It couldn't have done it at a better time. Slide 3. Now, I put this on the screen to give everyone an idea of what we have done. If you notice the bird's eye view, the modernization of Converse, no more traffic gridlock for the citizens in the local area. But you see the before on top and the current right now, as you see the no more traffic gridlock. So we're very proud of that road. It does modernize the city, and very obvious. Next slide. Slide 5, just in front of Justin High School is Rocket Lane, a project that will expand the roadway to FM 1604 from 2 to 5 lanes with bicycle lanes and sidewalks. Very similar to what you just witnessed on FM 1516. Slide 6. FM 1516 in front of Justin D.W. Rutledge Stadium, a project that will expand the roadway to I-10 from 2 to 5 lanes with bicycle lanes and sidewalks. It's projected, it's already in the planning. It has been approved. I'm very excited with that expansion as well. Go ahead. Slide 7. The FM 1604 project that you see right now is a project that's going from I-35 to IH-10 East. Right now, the first phase is IH-35 to FM 78. Our phase will begin in a couple of years from 78 to all the way to IH-10 East. Now, there will be a special flyover exit ramp for Randolph Air Force Base. There will be a bridge at the intersections of Rocket Lane, Lower Seguin, Graytown Road, and Ben Zingelman will all have bridges so the traffic can continue flowing. In addition, frontage roads with sidewalks from FM 78 to I-10 East, and there will be frontage roads that will also go over the railroad tracks. Slide 8. Tupperwine Road Realignment Project. Phase 1 will connect with FM 1516 at the railroad crossing at FM 1976 with expansion from 2 to 4 lanes to Meadow Forge Street, with Phase 2 continuing to Kitty Hawk Road with expansion to 5 lanes. This project is scheduled to commence this October. Very important with this project. We've been trying to get this project for the last 20 years, and we finally are able to get something done. And I'm very confident that we'll get this done within the next 5 to 6 years of completion. Slide 9. The FM 1976 project that you see currently underway is widening of lanes and shoulders from Walsham Road to FM 1604, again, to increase the flow of traffic through and around Converse. That's key to all the businesses. Slide 10. The city sidewalk plan is dedicated to placing sidewalks on all areas of Converse. The safe mobility of all citizens is the goal here. We want the citizens to get out and walk around their city. So it's very key, especially the families, because we do pride ourselves on being a family-oriented city. Next one. The Converse Greenway Park Trail will link both city parks with Phase 2 extending to the Live Oak border and Phase 3 extending to the animal care facility. Essentially, we're creating also a linear park on the walkway. Next slide. This fishing pier will be added to the city lake next month for the families of Converse. Thanks to our local Walmarts for their generous donations that will be used to make this pier possible. This is another quality of life measure for the citizens of Converse. Next slide. Finally, our senior center will provide a variety of services to the Converse seniors and veterans. Phase 2, there is a Phase 2, will expand the facility to a community center for all Converse citizens. In closing, you should all have a better perspective of what Converse is all about, what we're doing and where we're going. If we continue to make Converse a better place to live and raise a family, our population will continue to increase and our local businesses will continue to prosper and provide services to the families that will be here for a lifetime. If you have any questions and want to talk one-on-one, please stop by Mayor's Call this Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. at Converse City Hall lobby. Mayor's Call was an established forum for the citizens of Converse since 2007 to allow anyone to meet with their mayor on the second and fourth Saturday of every month from 8 to 10 a.m. No appointment is ever needed. Thank you, Converse EDC, for allowing me to take part in this important EDC virtual event. Have a wonderful virtual event, and thank you, Jimsi, so much. And my compliments to all your staff as well, to Kat and everyone, and especially the board of directors.
Thank you, Mayor. I know that it's an honor for all of us, staff and board, to be involved in the city leadership, the city staff, as well as the city's growth. So thank you so much for your comments today, sir. We appreciate you joining us, and we appreciate your leadership. And I'm going to put you back on mute, so for background noise purposes. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, with that, we're going to go back into the other portion. And we were, I apologize, right here. So and now it is my honor to introduce our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker is Julissa Carielo. She is I apologize here. Julissa has been in the construction industry for 25 years and is the president of Tejas Premier. Julissa's team includes a highly responsive management group that has built their organization's reputation for providing excellence and always exceeding client needs. Julissa has earned an exceptional reputation for understanding the construction industry and the construction finance management. She has been an integral part of several community and industry organizations. Her current professional affiliations include being the board chair and founder of the Maestro Entrepreneurial Center, an advisor for St. Mary's University School of Business, and some of her past affiliations and groups include being a 2018 graduate of Leadership San Antonio, previous president and vice president of the Construction Financial Management Association San Antonio chapter. Also, she is on the advisory council and board of directors for the Hispanic Contractors Association, the South Texas Hispanic Fund Board of the San Antonio Area Foundation, the Board of Directors and Education Committee for the Associated General Contractors of America, the Board of Directors for the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, a past member of the Mentor Protege Program, an instructor for construction financial management, an instructor for small business planning, and an instructor for bonding education program, all for Bexar County, a small business advocacy committee member for the City of San Antonio, and an executive member of the National Association of Women's Business Owners, also known as NABO. Thank you, Julissa, for your time today. We are extremely excited for you to share your information with us.
Thank you so much, Jimsi, for the introduction. And a lot of those organizations I've done in the past, not all going on at this time, right? So I've been involved in a lot of things, and I'm super excited to be here. And Mayor Suarez, thank you so much for your leadership and all you're doing for the City of Converse. I'm so impressed to see the numbers and the data that you're presenting, and even the upcoming expansions. It's impressive as a business owner to know how close you are to the businesses, and it makes a big difference for us. And I just want to thank you for that leadership approach, because we need it so badly, right? So I'm excited to be here, and really as a business owner, when we start the business, I started my business 14 years ago, and the roller coaster ride is really the right title of what happens when we start our business. And I remember back then, my biggest challenge, I thought was more about me personally. How do I overcome the fear of, can I do this? And can I sell, the construction services, as a woman, could I do it? And that was something that I needed to overcome and build that confidence. So I remember off the start, that was my biggest challenge. But once I started to talk to the clients, explaining the stuff we were doing, our staff being, well seasoned in the industry, I love the construction industry. I just wanted to be a part of it, and I wanted to be doing it in a way that was really impacting. And I'm happy to say, we've grown 14 years later. We're still here. We're doing work all over the state of Texas. We have a 99% repeat client list, which is a really big deal for us, because we're doing things right? And it makes a big difference. this past January, we expanded our services, and I think my slide actually had the Dream On group. So we decided as my management team got together, and we wanted to expand beyond the construction services. I was getting in personally into the development side of properties and developing programs that were tied more to filling the needs of what the people really needed. And so when we established Dream On Group this January, we did it with the purpose to build things that matter, and to change our whole logo and marketing to, more of a community builder. We were going to be selecting projects that were going to make a difference and impact in our community, which is when we introduced the Dream On Group going forward. And of course that launched in January. By end of March, by the end of February, we have developed our business plan, our marketing plan. I mean, we were ready to hit the ground running. We had already had 9 projects under our list of things for developing. And then of course the pandemic hits, the city's shutting down. We have everything's happening, and there we are on this ride trying to figure out, okay, what do we do first, right? And at first, the main thing that we kept thinking was, how long is this going to last? Is this 30 days? I mean, is it, 2 months, a quarter? As a business owner, we're not doctors. We don't know the whole what's happening. We're just trying to get as much information as we can, right? So what we first thought, well, you know what? Let's take the time, update the website. Let's do the projects we hadn't been able to do because we had been so busy. Internally, we were restructuring, we were reorganizing our company. And we thought, let's take the next 30 days, let's restructure, let's not panic, let's just figure out what we're gonna do, right? And so we did that. We launched a new website that brought together the Dream On Group. And then we're seeing, okay, this is gonna take longer. We're starting to see that it's affecting some of our clients. And so we immediately start talking to, all our relationships that we had, first our banker, tell us what's happening. What are you hearing? Fortunately, we had built up reserves for cash that can carry us. Sometimes we talk about, how much money is enough in reserves as business owners. We all have a different risk level, right? Some people say 6 months. For me, it was 2 years. I was like, I want to make sure we're covered. And so from the start of our business, we build that capacity to have that reserve. So that really helped a lot. But communicating with the bankers, it was important to just understand what they were seeing in the community. The same thing with our attorney. We were immediately talking about, if certain things go bad, we wanted to know from our insurance agent, are we covered in everything we need to be on the different scenarios? I mean, I was up at night thinking of what if this happens and what if that happens? And they were covering different things to make sure you're covered, right? The other thing is projecting. We wanted to see, okay, the first thing we need to address is the healthcare side of protecting our employees, protecting our clients going to the job sites. Again, we do construction. We have a lot of labor is our biggest thing. We have workers on site. We were implementing the face shields, the masks, the washing stations, the hand sanitizers. I mean, we were in contact with OSHA to identify the steps that needed to be required to follow and implement the CDC guidelines on those projects. And that, I think, made a big difference. The other thing is we were talking to our suppliers and vendors because we were seeing that we were not going to be able to get certain things manufactured, custom doors, custom things that needed to be installed into our projects. Some of these manufacturing companies were hit with COVID. They were shut down. And we needed to be able to identify other resources or look at our legal contracts to see what we could do to extend that. So that was something that fortunately we had our attorneys on call. They would be able to respond and say, here's what we're seeing. Here's what the federal government is issuing as to across the board because of the pandemic. Nursing homes, which unfortunately were shut down. And so the folks that we had lined up to work, we had to send home. We're like, okay, well, let's figure out until we bid another project to get them somewhere else. But the number one thing that I think helped was because we were in constant communication with the clients. We weren't so concerned with what was going on or being told in the news. We kept our eyes and ears on what the clients were saying and doing. And our biggest thing is if we can just continue supporting them, if their services have changed, their needs have changed, we're going to change with them. And we just needed them to know that that was our main focus. And they were happy because they were saying, Julissa, we don't need this. We now need this. And we need emergency this. And we need that. And we were like, we're on it. We're on it. We're on it. You know, and so I think that really helped us. And again, it goes back to, you know, we're big on customer service, but also because we care about the people we're working with. And we want to make sure that if they have emergency things need to happen, we're there to help, you know, because when we're in a dire need, we want them to help us too, right? And so it works both ways. What else can I tell you? One of the other things, you know, adjusting to, everybody says you're going to have to adjust to the new environment. This is the new way of doing things. One of the things that my management team, we meet every Monday morning, we're in session for 2 hours, and we are talking about upcoming things. And what I love about our team is we talk about everything. There's nothing off limits. Everybody's opinionated, good or bad. We hear it, and we learn from it, right? But the main thing is that we were talking about, let's pretend this is the new environment. It's going to last more than a year. We're expecting it to be the whole 2021. And so the way we approached our business style was knowing this environment was the new way of doing things. We were never planning, you know, when this goes away, we're going to come back and do this. That is not how we're approaching things, only because there's way too much unknown, right? Our biggest thing is staying close to the client and close to what we can do to serve. And so we've adjusted Dream On, we've adjusted Tejas Premier, we've adjusted the way we're doing that, we're assuming that this is going to be continue. Of course, if things change, things will be a lot more easier than the challenges we have today, right? And so we plan for the highest risk, and then we approach things that way. One of the things that I have to share with you is the Maestro Entrepreneurship Center. So this center, I founded 5 years ago. So as my company was doing good, I just felt, I'm from San Antonio, born and raised here. And I just thought, you know, I knew the challenges I went through as a business owner, and I knew that I couldn't get help of certain things. There's help for you to get started. There's no help for you as a business to grow from small to medium, from medium to large. There's nothing that identifies the steps. And so when I started the foundation for the center, I started this nonprofit. I called everybody I knew, everybody who I thought was important. I called and I said, I'm trying to start this nonprofit. I'm trying to get assistance for the businesses so that we have resources available to make it easier. There's no reason why we should be struggling. And so I purchased an old elementary school from SAISD. It was, you know, hadn't been used in over 15 years as a school. And it took me about 2 years to get it, but I was able to turn it into the Maestro Entrepreneurship Center. So what I can share with you, and I think if you could put up the slide of the Maestro Center, you could see that if you go to the website, you'll be able to see this campus is an entrepreneurship center. It can house up to 50 companies on site from different industries. There's a building dedicated just for construction. There's a building dedicated for commercial kitchen, culinary type businesses. And then the other 2 buildings are for professional services. And then there's arts and culture everywhere. We love arts and culture. We think it puts color in our life, and we include it. And they're business owners too. And what the center does is provide free training by maestros. The maestros are the successful business owners that come back and actually give back and share their stories, share their expertise on different things. And we have training year round. All of it is acceleration training. It is not for startups. It is for existing companies that want to grow their business. What we thought was, as business owners, we wanted to be able to have a place where we could share and our challenges, and then also share opportunities, right? And so we connected with, I'm a busy person, so by the way, I'm everywhere, right? So if you know, it's hard for me to get a hold of, but I am doing all kinds of stuff. And so I was able to get the city, the county, the public agencies via CPS, SAWS, to everybody, the school districts, the universities, to participate. And what we're saying is, you know, come be a part, make sure that you're connecting with these companies. So there's events throughout the year. Everything is free, again, for small businesses to be able to connect to opportunities, have a space if you need it. If you don't, the center is open. We do have a foundry space. There's free Wi-Fi. You can come in, bring your laptop, have some coffee, meet other entrepreneurs. Of course, with COVID, everything went virtual. We're just now starting to have sessions in person and virtual. All the training is in English and in Spanish, so the sessions repeat themselves. The center is located on 1811 South Laredo. It is the poorest zip code of San Antonio, and we've turned this whole area. It's amazing. You're seeing our neighbors are upgrading their stores. Everybody's changing their approach. I mean, it's like, we're so excited. There's so much activity happening here. And I'm just so happy that we get to do it. But as entrepreneurs, there is help. There's a place you can go and lean on. And the latest thing we just received this past Friday, we received a grant from Bexar County so that Maestro Center can give out $14,000 grants to small businesses all over the county of Bexar County, right? So the City of Converse, your entrepreneurs can apply for this grant as well. There's going to be a lottery, so we won't be able to tell how many are going to go to get approved, but we actually received $936,000 to issue those issue those grants. So make sure you go to the website. If you can put that screen up again, just to show, go to the go to the website. There is a buy local component where you actually sign up as a business. It's free. It asks you 18 questions because we're gathering a survey that we can actually go back to the city and the county and let them know the biggest challenges that you guys are having and the programming that we need to get funded. And so it's very important that you go through the steps of the survey. But once you get in, you actually get your own login, and there's access to all the training available in the city. We partner with pretty much everybody that we can get our hands with. And we say, if the sessions are free, let us highlight them on this website. If there's grants available, we're constantly putting them on this website. There is a procurement site where we're just launching this Friday. And so they'll be giving forecast every other Friday, a different public agency that's basically saying, these are the upcoming contracts that are coming up. So as a business, you can sign up, and you can also connect business to business. So there's a way, the database allows you to communicate and find each other. And then there's also a free way to promote your business services on the same website. It's pretty amazing and robust. I will tell you, I wish it was there when I started my business 14 years ago, but I'm just happy that we get to be a part of it. But one of the things that's important as a business owner, wherever you're located, connect with your economic development from your city, because they have access to so many resources, opportunities and stuff. And I'm happy that Jimsi, to reach out to little old me, right? But at the same time, identifying the resources that are available and how we can connect to make sure that we're taking advantage. I'm hoping I didn't talk too much, but I thank you for your time and available for any questions.
Thank you, Julissa. No, we're doing great on time, and absolutely, I know we try really hard to connect with our businesses, our 300 businesses. There have been several times during this pandemic where we literally have sat down and called as many as we can. You know, we have 300 phone numbers to dial, and as many people will answer the phone. We talk to them about what's going on, what are some of the expectations, what's changing for different mandates on a state and local level, what resources are available. We've been on the phone a lot this year, and I think it's only helped us, you know, have better relationships with our local businesses. So thank you. And anyone who wants the information on Maestro, that is also added to the Converse EDC website. So if you haven't been to our website, it's chooseconverse.com. Under the business tab, you'll find local resources, and the Maestro Center is going to be under there. So anyone who wants to find out information about the grants that Julissa is mentioning, as well as all of the resources that are available through that center. I know one of our attendees has asked a question, wondering if there is any kind of layout or site plan on the Maestro Entrepreneurial Center and your campus over there, because your business is also over there as well. I know you've done tours too.
It is, if you actually go to the website, there's tons of information there for entrepreneurs.
So they'll be able to see what kind of, you know, because you've got spaces that are leasable. It'll show the whole campus, or?
Yes, and actually you can also come and visit. We have a full staff that's there all the time that's happy to help you.
Wonderful. Kentrell, thank you so much for sharing in the chat box the website to the EDC. Much appreciated. Kentrell Alexander being one of our board members. So we have a couple questions too. Julissa, you had chatted about having a 2-year reserve in your own personal business planning. You feel it's more important to have 2 years versus 6 months. How does someone start that process up right now? We know most of businesses are in kind of that recovery phase, but how would you guide them to then take that next step to build a reserve?
I think establishing budgets is the number one thing, right? And sticking to those budgets. It's important to learn to live within those means, right? Especially when you're trying to save with the purpose. A lot of the times, the biggest risk that we see here at the center that the entrepreneurs are dealing with is, of course, they don't have access to capital. They need money first, right? So establishing those relationships, but establishing budgets, keeping track of dollars and cents of what you're making, what you're charging, what you're spending. If you have reporting that you understand that tells you that information, it makes it super easy to be able to do that. If you don't know how to do that, come to the center. There's training classes to help you identify your cost pricing and identify, you know, are you making money, so that you can identify how much you can save. But the biggest thing is start budgeting, create a savings aside that you're able to do that.
That's a good point. Maestro is a resource that can help small businesses figure out how to start doing that. So thank you. What has been some of your biggest challenges in expanding your business, and how did you overcome that challenge?
I think in expanding the business, when you're expanding the business based on services being added, it's less riskier, because really that's marketing. You're marketing more services that you can do with the same clients. It's a very smart approach, because you're not looking for more clients. It's like, how else can I serve the client in more than one way? When I was looking for clients, I was looking for clients that had 800 buildings or more, because I wanted to stay with those clients. I was not looking for a client that had one project for me to do. I never looked at it as one project. I looked at it as, what else does he have where I could just love on this client for years and years, right? That to me is the easier way to expand, by being purpose driven on your marketing approach. The other way that you can expand when it comes to when you're investing on adding new staff, that one is when you have reserves, it's easier, because you're saying, I have money in the bank, I'm going to invest on a new position, but I'm expecting these returns. When you expand with new staff, you have to have very clear expectations, very clear job descriptions, very clear objectives of the business, what it's going to change with that new position. A lot of the times people hire and say, I just need a marketing person. And so they go spend the money. The marketing person does not know how to sell your business as well as you do, right? So I don't normally like to hire marketing persons. I use them to create what I'm doing, to make it look beautiful, but I can sell it better than anybody else. And so as an entrepreneur, master that before you go and say someone else is going to do that part because I don't want to do it. If you can't sell your business, how is somebody else going to sell it better? So it's just some things to think about, right?
Thank you. Julissa, we do have a question directly as well. Ernest Brown, commercial broker, asks, he says, we work with a number of small businesses, many retailers. What is the most common reason businesses come to you? What are they seeking? And is there a common mistake to avoid as such? When is the appropriate time for them to seek assistance?
When you're, again, it's like when somebody is hurt, right? They go to the hospital after they got hurt. When you're nurturing your business, get as much training and research done beforehand. Developing an actual business plan is important because you're able to answer the questions that you need to know as a business. The basic fundamental stuff needs to be answered. A lot of the times businesses, they just say, oh, I'm a business, I opened. They're waiting for people to come. They're not going to come because they're not marketing. Nobody knows who they are just yet. Those things have to be addressed. A business plan will identify what is your marketing plan, who is your client you're targeting. All that stuff needs to be addressed prior to opening. It's a lesson learned, but I'll tell you, okay, my 14 years in business, my first 10 years were trial and error. I did something, it didn't work, I would try something different. I'd never stuck with the same thing. If it didn't work, I was going to change. And the good thing is, as a small business owner, we're very flexible. You can change. On Monday, we're doing something different, and that's it, right? And so we're not so big that we can't wait or we're waiting for an email. It's nothing like that. You have to make decisions. For business owners, decision making it's a challenge sometimes. Sometimes not choosing to make a decision is making a decision. It's not the best one, but it just means I'm not going to do anything about it. But I think if anything is really being true to what you're doing, looking at the finances, because the finances tell your story to your banker, to your insurance agent, to your bonding company, to your clients. Sometimes they want to know, am I buying from somebody? Am I issuing a contract that's at risk because they don't have the funding, or they're not going to be able to complete it because they don't have the funding? When you're watching the numbers, you can easily say, we're financially stable. We can extend, we have line of credits we haven't touched. They're available for us. All those things you have to know as a business owner. And the biggest mistake I've seen from business owners make is that they pretend the accounting is not their part of their job. And it's like the number one thing that will save them. But they act like, no, the numbers, I don't want to know about it. Just tell me, are we good? And that's the mistake, because if you're watching the numbers, you can tweak things to improve the numbers, or you can tweak things to stop the bleeding. And if you don't look at the numbers, you're just going to keep going in the wrong direction.
Thank you. And I think it's great that you hit on something which was our subject matter last year, which is that putting an open sign up alone does not create business, right? When you're a new business owner, you have to budget for marketing, you have to budget for advertising, you have to tell people you're there. And so one of the backup questions was, does the Maestro Center assist with building out your business plan?
Yes.
Perfect, great. And then we have another question, which the mayor has asked on behalf of our small businesses. What are some of the indicators that new small business owners should be looking for to determine if they are headed for trouble?
I think I saw Daniel Galindo's name run across. So he's with Wood Forest Bank, one of our biggest supporters. And they actually do a lot on the KPIs and matrix and goals. Establishing matrix and goals are a big thing. The training, we do training on that specifically because we want the business owners to be able to track goals on their sales, goes on the number of hits, people going to their websites, goes on the actual hours spent, expenses. Everything should have a number tied to it where you're able to gauge, am I on track or am I not on track? So I think that's something that is big. I know I have budgets, and then I also have goals, and we have goals per department. So our estimating team has goals, our operations team has goals, our accounting team has goals, our marketing, everybody has goals. So the clear expectation of what they do is there, right? But when I first got started, it was me and 2 employees. I had 1 superintendent and 1 person that helped me with marketing and putting packages together. So when you're a small group, you're doing everything, but if you still want to have those KPIs and matrix, because you want to know, are we doing things right, even when it's a small group? And it should be easier for you to do those matrix because it's not that big that you can't manage it. It's easier when it's just the smaller group, but keeping track of those numbers is a big advantage if you do. Those companies that are savvier on the business side of accounting and financial management, looking at the numbers, are the ones that succeed faster. We've seen the trends where those are the ones that actually grow faster. We actually also have training for learning how to read financial statements, how to establish the mechanism so that you're tracking and keeping track of budgets and job costs and all that stuff. So all that kind of training is available throughout the year. So that was probably the biggest advice I can give for those that are wondering, why am I not doing well? Or I had money in the bank last week and I don't this week. Well, because sometimes you owe it to somebody, but it's not really recorded, right? So those are the things that I think are extremely important. If you're going to start a business, be responsible enough to be responsible for your finances, right? Because that's what's going to make or break you. That's the number one reality.
Wonderful. Thank you. One last question. You talked a lot about growing and expanding, but one of them being something that people get a little nervous about is expanding into new markets. What are some suggestions you have for people who are trying to inquire? Do they have the capacity to expand into new markets, and where do they go first?
Most of the time it's talking to your clients. Again, getting to know what's important to them, and then looking for who's their competitor or who does the same thing they do. Those are the easier ways to be able to expand. When you talk to the client, when I first got into the federal arena, I was constantly hitting the local bases. Once I got into the bases, I was very persistent. It wasn't like I just called one time, I didn't do one visit. Every week I would finish a project, I'd take a picture, I send it to them, and I would say, hey, we just finished this, we'd love to work with you. Simple emails or pictures of, I just hired this new project manager, here's his experience. I was constantly in front of them. So one day I remember I got a phone call from one contracting officer at Lackland Air Force Base, and he said, Ms. Carielo, stop sending your stuff over here, everybody knows who you are. And he says, we have a job for you, come on in, we want to talk to you. I was extremely excited because I was just trying to get in. It's not like you could just drive through the federal gates and they let you in, right? So you got to find a way to connect. And once we got to know the client, once we were working there, again, I'm looking for those with 800 buildings, right? How many can we go do? And then it was talking to them as to who they saw would be good for us to work with. And then they were doing referrals. They would say, call so-and-so, let them know I told you to go over there and he'll help you. Our clients were our biggest cheerleaders. And so it made it easier for us to get into those areas. But again, you have to get personal sometimes with them. And it's just, here's what I'm trying to do. looking for vendors, like suppliers or vendors when we're working with. If I'm going into a new city or a new base, I'm in Abilene and it's a small city, and I want to know, okay, well, you know, who can we bring in? Because it's hard and expensive to bring everybody from out of town. And they want you to use local people. So we would ask the client, is there a vendor list that you prefer? Is there an outreach that we can do? And they would share it with us. They would establish it, and they would help us make sure that we were connecting. Again, if we'd never asked, they would have never provided anything, you know.
Wonderful. Julissa, I think kind of the running theme for today is probably relationships, right? Relationships with your customers, relationships with your vendors, those who are supplying you, and that vendor being, you know, if you're a restaurant, maybe it's, you know, who you're buying your meat from, and understanding what are some concerns that they're having. Are you going to have supply chain issues? To, you know, maybe it's wood. I know that there's been some challenges on obtaining wood for fences and such, right? I know trying to buy a refrigerator was hard. So, you know, relationships is extremely important when it comes to your customers, when it comes to your vendors, when it comes to your community as well, and knowing what some of those resources are. And if you are not aware of all of the resources, there is always someone who knows someone, right? It's all relationship based. So never be afraid to just pick up the phone and ask questions. We're always, as an EDC, going to say, call the EDC, because I might not have the exact answer, but I can find somebody who will get it for you. So thank you, Julissa. We're extremely appreciative of your time today. I know that owning a business is always interesting. There are some people in my family who own their own, and it's always a roller coaster, as you said. So thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next portion here, which is, of course, we're really honored to discuss our Converse Veteran Business of the Year Award. And so this year, Mr. Ernie Ward, who is the founder of Southwest Electrical Contracting Services, our recipient. Ernie was presented his award earlier this week, along with a congressional recognition from Congressman Cuellar's office. Congratulations, Mr. Ward. We are honored your business chooses Converse for its corporate headquarters. Congratulations and best wishes as your business does continue to grow. And now we have come to the fun part. We have come to the part, the shoes. So, Julissa, can you please help us by picking a number between 1 and 72?
65.
That elephant won't stop running. All right, so number 65. Great, wonderful. So our winner today is going to be Tanya Anaton. Tanya.monique@yahoo.com is who we have as a registered guest. So Tanya, if you'll give us a call at the office, the phone number is on the screen there. We would love to know what color Converse tennis shoes that you would like, as well as what size. And then you can wear those around, rock your wardrobe with those new pair of shoes, as well as when you're in Converse, definitely feel free to wear those. So we have, absolutely, Tanya. We're excited to talk to you about that. Thank you all so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure to be able to share information on what's going on with Converse and the growth of Converse. We know we have a lot more to do. We have a lot more investing on a local level, and we're just extremely excited that there are so many homes being built and so many people who are choosing for Converse to be their home, as well as a place for business. We're continuing to see some more development. There'll be more open leasable space. We're working specifically for retail and commercial to provide services for our new and existing residents, as well as working on some other light industrial opportunities as well. So we'll be sending out an email this afternoon. It will have a recording for this video for those who were not able to attend and want to be able to watch the content, as well as those who want to follow through again, maybe catch up on some information they may have missed. There will be a survey in there as well that's actually coming from a state research project. We're trying to provide some information for all of the major metropolitan areas and state to help them with some business information on how to plan accordingly due to some of the things that happened, business challenges due to COVID. So again, we are so grateful that you all joined us. We stayed within our time frame. Hopefully you all enjoyed taking your lunch out to join us today. Please stay safe, stay healthy. And of course, if you have any questions at all, please contact the EDC. We're always here to answer any questions you may have. So the website, very easy, which is www.chooseconverse.com. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful day.